Good evening, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday, and it is our class version, so this is coming to you pre-recorded. I just wanted to open with, we're going to be doing some projects from our mini catalog, our new spring mini catalog, and Celebration. So I just wanted to say, if you didn't get these two catalogs in the mail from me, please let me know so that I can get them to you ASAP. If you are not my customer yet and you need some, let me know as well. So message me. There should be a PM me, whatever. Hopefully there'll be a message link or something. Just comment that you need a copy if you want to. Also, I just wanted to mention that I still have spaces available in my designer paper share for these two catalogs. So if you're still interested in that, let me know. There is information on that on my Facebook page here. So just look for paper share and you can find that. That will just be available while spaces last. So yeah, I have spaces for the 6x6 swap. Okay. All right, let's get started. Okay, this card is a little front flap card, and I'm introducing the Utterly Amazing stamp set and bundle. This is an online production, and so you have to find it on the website. It's not in a brochure or a catalog. So we have beautiful paper, there's a whole suite of Utterly Amazing stuff. So I wanted to use these little guys this month. And so to start with, our card base is 5.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 1 1/4. And that is going to fold over, and then that's going to create our card front. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is stamp. We're going to get this front piece stamped. I have the ribbon on here already, just so that I don't have to do that on camera, but now I have to move it and I can't seem to move it. Okay. And I'm going to use the two otters together, and we're using Memento because I'm going to color them with blends. And I'm just going to stamp them. I have it on here crooked, so. Right here. And then I'm also using Sweetly Scripted, which is, it was an online introduction probably a year ago, and it is retiring. I didn't have time to check to see if it had gone away yet, but it is a stamp set I love. I love the scripty look, and I love the long that you can use for different things. We don't need it long for this, and my sample I did a happy anniversary, but for this one I just wanted to do something different, so I'm going to do the Speedy Recovery. Now it's not as long on both ends, which is fine because I don't need it to be. And hopefully I'm going to stamp this straight. Let me just turn this with the grid so that I can hopefully. There we go. Okay, now we're going to color this, and I'm using light gray granite, a light pebbled path, and then some Pretty Peacock and a light or dark Granny Apple green. Let's go ahead and use the Granny Apple to just color in these grasses here. Just a touch of that. We're going to be adding Granny Apple in some of the paper cutouts later. So I probably just need this light. Color in these little stems. Okay, now we will color the little seals, otters with, I'm going to start with light gray granite. Just going to go ahead and pretty much fill in all of the otter. And went outside the line already, oh my goodness. Okay, don't need that anymore. It makes a terrible background, doesn't it, with all that messy ink. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab the light pebbled path and do some shading while it's still damp. Because it's alcohol, it dries really fast. We'll do a little bit here on his head. And then I'm going to go ahead and just blend that back in with my pen. And the second layer of this light gray granite, still is going to appear a little darker. So we're going to just sort of blend that in. I probably should have left that part white, but all right, so the other one will be just the same. So we will go ahead and color. Okay, there we go. Got that all colored there. I do have a little bit of a boo-boo here, so I'm just gonna see if I can get some of that to go with my color lifter. And let's go ahead and get this adhesed on here. You can see that extra color coming through there that should disappear from the front because it's going to the back. Get that a little crooked. All right, so we're ready to put this on here, and I am just going to hopefully send, actually, let's go ahead and put the designer paper. I have these 1-inch strips for this outside part here. I'm going to stick that on first because that way it will help me to center this a little bit better. All right, so this should go right in here. Oh, I do need my ribbon down here further, don't I? Let's go ahead and pull that down out of the way, and then we'll scoot it back up when we're ready. While I have this closed, let's go ahead and grab our other strip of designer paper. This is the same sheet. It's actually just the opposite side of the one that we used here. All right, now let me just scoot that back up, and that will be ready to go. My Speedy is getting covered by the ribbon. Okay, so for the inside, we have this piece, and I actually made it a little bigger than I wanted to, but I'm going to stamp it real quick, and we're going to put Love You Lots in the center. And then I'm going to use these cute little fish, but I don't want them to be full strength, so I'm just going to stamp them off here and then put that. And that's it for that. So that's just going to get glued down flat. Okay. I'm going to line it up here so that I know it's underneath that front flap. All right, so we're going to just close that down, and then it should be right where I need it to be. And folks, that is almost it. Almost two things yet. I have these cute little pebbles that are die cut from the dies, and I have dimensionals on them already. So I'm just going to grab my gray granite and my little sponge brush, and I'm going to just add a little bit of shading around these rocks. And we'll stick those on. Those. All right, I think that just is a nice addition to the card. We've got something popping up. And then we have these really cute dimensionals, two-tone sparkle gems, and I'm going to use those just to add a little bit of pizzazz to our cute little otters here. There we go. And that is it. Let me just hold it here so you can see it. Speedy recovery. Love you lots. Okay, that's it for that one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this is another card that we're going to do this month. It is using the Storybook Friends bundle that I just am so in love with, and the gorgeous paper, of course, that goes with it. These frames are so yummy. I don't have any other samples to show you right now, but I have seen lots and lots of things online. So I'm using this frame and this designer paper. It has this on the other side, but we're using the strawberry side. And I'm also using, the part of this suite is this plaid paper. And so I'm going to be using that as well. So we're doing boho blue, and let me just fold this real quick. I should have done that beforehand. All right, so I do have the little guy stamped already because I did it with my Stamparatus, and I actually lined him up doing this one. So we're also going to color with colored pencils. So I'm just going to real quick throw on some color, and then we will just blend that color with our blender pen. Haven't used this coloring technique in a bit, probably. So hopefully it'll be a little reminder that our colored pencils are fabulous for quick and easy coloring and getting lots of colors that you like. And I'm only using about 5 of them, and they're probably from 1 and 2. So I apologize. There's 2 sets of watercolor pencils, and I couldn't find all of them in one because I wanted red for this little turnip here. A radish. I meant to say radish. Turnips aren't red, I don't think. And then I'm using the brown for the bunny. We're going to pretend he's a little velveteen bunny. I'm going to try putting a little less color on than I had on my sample. We'll keep him just a little lighter. And then maybe the pads of his feet I'll make a little bit darker. Okay, so for the blender pen, oh, I forgot to color his paws. No, I was missing something. All right, we'll start with the pink and just blend it, and then I won't have to change colors going to the red, or not change colors, but just to get that red off of there. And then we'll go to the blue. And this just takes away all those lines that were there from the pencil. And it actually, if you notice, it brightens it as well. Brightens the color. And let's do the brown. Since I have this dark on here, I'm going to just shade a little bit there. If you wanted to shade otherwise, you could just come in here and grab a little bit of color with your pencil and do a little shading, okay? All right. Grab his little paws. And I think we got all the colors. I'm just going to wipe that off so it's ready for the next coloring. All right, let's go ahead and start layering on our pieces. I'm also using the embossing folder Starstruck from our celebration items, so it's free with a $60 purchase. So if you purchase this bundle, you could get this beautiful folder for free. Then we're going to add some adhesive. I don't know. I like both sides of this. It's really hard to choose which one to use. I probably should have chosen an opposite one of the one that I already did for my sample, but I didn't really want to add a lot of color behind because I don't want to just detract from this too much. Okay, so we're just going to put Early Espresso behind here. And I probably cut this a little bigger than I needed it. So let's go ahead and trim off this. So my designer paper is 3 by 4. So I only needed, I did 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, but I only needed 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so if that helps you to not make the same mistake I did. All right, just gonna pop this on here. I wanted the brown to just set this off, and also since we did brown on the bunny, that'll help that go together. Now I want to show you, because I didn't want this behind here again to set off the bunny, I grabbed a piece of crumb cake to put behind here, and we're going to stamp that first, and then I'm going to show you how I cut that out. We're going to use the little stamp. It has a garden on it. This is Mr. McGregor's garden. So I'm going to stamp that just up from the bottom. And then, hello friend. I am going to put this on here before I stamp it so that I know where it goes. I want it near the top. Hopefully that's straight. Okay, done with that. Now, what I did was I kept the inside piece from this die cut, and I'm just gonna lay this on here, and then I'm gonna cut it with a little bit of an edge to it. Now this I cut just to the, whoops, throwing things here. I can't pick it up. Just to the edge, so I don't need to trim this off. I just need to trim around this arch. So I'm going to use the same little edging here and try to keep it, it's not going to show, so it doesn't have to be straight, but I just want to be inside of the edge of that design. And then the same with these corners. They need to be rounded just a little bit so that they don't stick out. All right, now we can pull in my mat here because this gluing could get messy, and I'm going to use my little mini glue bottle that I put my green glue in. I got these recently because people were complaining with the other one that I had. It held so much glue, and they didn't use enough glue quickly enough. I seem to use it a lot. Okay, for this project, we're going to be using this bundle, Terrific Toadstools, and we're going to be highlighting the designer paper from Celebration, and I did want to show you that, because I can show you this brochure. Yay! Terrific Toadstool, what's it called? Oh shoot, I had it in my head. Here it is, Toadstool Gardens. It's on page 8. So another free item that you can get with a $60 purchase. Okay, and of course this is in the mini catalog. We are going to make this really cute card. I don't know where this fold came from, but how cute is that? I copied the idea from Jennifer Cotton, I believe. But originally I'm not sure if it's her idea or another. But anyways, I'm doing a toadstool card with it. Let me show you what you need and what the measurements are. So if you use your cutter, you are going to cut a 5.5 by 11.5 inch piece. This takes a whole sheet for a card. Then the other piece will be the inside, so you'll use both of those. So this is going to be 5.5, and then you're going to cut that down to 9.5. Okay, so 9.5 this direction. If you're using your cutter, you can to score, you can come on here and do a 1/2 inch, 2 5/8 inch, 6 7/8. I can't read my own writing. You'd have to bring this out. 6 7/8, and then another 1/2 inch at the other end, which is going to be 9.5 inches. Okay, so those are the scores for the base, and you're going to fold it like that. Okay, give me 1 second. I've been taking too long to record this morning. My batteries on my lights are all dying. Okay, now we have this 3-inch piece that was left when we cut that, and we're going to cut that down to 3 by 10 5/8. So you're going to take just a couple eighths off of that. So 10 5/8. You're going to take 3/8, off of that. Okay, and then you're going to score this one at in quarters. So 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8, and 8 1/2. Okay, so that's what we have. All right, now for this one gets folded. I have to think here, like this and like this. So these both fold into, so it looks like this, and then this is going to fold into itself. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put our designer papers on here, everything that we have that's not stamped, and then we can get these 2 pieces put together. So I have 4 pieces of 2 inch by 5 1/4 inch, 2 for the outside and 2 for the inside. So we're going to pop those on here. Let me do this. Let's see if we can put adhesive on all of these at once. This is probably going to be a disaster. All right, so these 2 are going to go on the inside, and they're going to go almost to the fold. You could cut them down a little bit. They could be, instead of 2 inches, you could make them 1 7/8, and because you don't want too much fullness on that fold. But I know that uneven numbers are a little bit difficult for some people, so I kept it at 2 inches, and I'm just going to scoot it a little bit up from the fold. And then on the outside, on this flap, we're going to put these other 2 pieces. We have an 1/8 inch from the top and the bottom. And then on this piece, we have, I have cut 2 pieces of the stripes and 3 pieces of the white cardstock, and those are all 2 3/4 inches by 1 7/8. We're going to stamp on that one. The rest of these can be glued on, so we're going to go ahead and put adhesive on all of those. This one I did with the birch, embossed with the birch embossing folder. And I'm thinking, did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. So these are going to go in here. These are going to go on this flap because they're going to show on the outside. You can see I messed up the scoring there. I usually do most of my scoring on my Simply Scored, and I jumped the track. Just remember that song? If the train shall jump the track, do you want your money back? Okay, that part is done. This is going to go inside of here. We're going to pop some toadstools up here. But let's go ahead and stick this in place. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay this out flat, and then you're going to put glue just where this goes across. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. Now, if you don't have Seal Plus, you're going to want to pull out your tear and tape, because you have to make sure that this stays good. And I really need to make sure that that lines up. Now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to close this just to make sure everything closes right, so that I can make sure the second one is in a good spot. Now I'm going to just lift this up and put the adhesive under here. And I ran it over the edge a little bit there. And I might have gone down here too far, but I'll be able to peel that off then. All right, so while this is closed nice and flat, I'm going to glue that side down. And that's the best way to make sure that this is going to fold down for you. Now it should still lay flat, but I want to tell you, it's very tricky to get that in place, but that will be the best way for you to do that. Okay, now she had a piece of designer paper back here, I think like some cute pattern like this. However, I can't do that because I don't have enough paper to do that for a class, but it is really cute, so you can go ahead and cut a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece to put back here if you're just making like one card. All right, now we need to do some stamping. I'm going to put that aside for a minute. I have a strip of paper somewhere here. Let me find it. I just grabbed some strips of paper that I had, so I'm hoping that everything is the size that I need it. All right, so we are gonna, let's go ahead and stamp this little guy first. I just need some scrap paper here for a minute. There is a little toadstool bunch that I want to put on this one. This is where we're going to write our greeting, so I don't want a lot here. I'm going to do, I'm doing this in Pebbled Path and Pumpkin Pie. And then we'll stamp those on there. Boy, I didn't ink that very good at all. And then I'm going to do a little ladybug. The ladybug I'm going to do in Poppy Parade. And I'm going to just waste an image, so second generation on that. And then there's a little other part that could be a little toadstool, but I'm using it as a back for the ladybug. Not exactly like a ladybug, but it adds some dimension to that, right? Okay, now that's all we need for that. So let's go ahead and glue that. The rest is going to be some punching and stuff. So this is going to go on this panel right here. Like that. All right, so now we're going to be using the punch. So I want to just lay my punch here so that I stamp everything in the direction that it needs to go. So I need a red, actually I'm using Melamambo for this one. So we'll stamp that there. I need 2 of these, and I'm going to do a pumpkin pie. Let me make sure I ink that one good. And that's upside down. And then I'm going to just go right into, I think I have Poppy Parade on that one. All right, so we can go ahead and punch those. Now, again, if you didn't see the other video that I did, maybe I'll just tell you about that here before I finish punching these, because I will forget. I did these cute cards in a video last 2 weeks ago, I believe, on a Monday live, and used the designer paper and also showed this one. And in that I explained how this punch actually punches into the design and it doesn't leave you a white edge, so that when you use this, it's really cool because it doesn't look like you popped it out of something. It actually looks like you punched it by hand or die cut it or whatever. Okay, now we do need a couple of stems, and so we'll go ahead and do those next if I can find them. I'm gonna do those in yeah, I have my colors turned around wrong, and it's called Pebbled Path. I just said it 2 seconds ago. I know I do realize that, but now this one goes this direction, so I want to stamp it here, and let's see, I'm gonna see if I can do 2 of them here. If I can punch 2 out, I'm not sure if I can, but we'll try. And I need 1, 2, I need 3 total. So let's go ahead and do, yeah, I can't do that bottom one, shoot. But I can still get to it. Let me just, we'll cut off that. And see if I can get this guy in here and get a little bit further. I know I need to do another one there, so I'm not too worried about that. And I line that up. And you have plenty of wiggle room there because, like I said, I know I'm going to lose that because it's on that same color. Okay. And now, I'm just going to pop that off. This one, let's go ahead and do our other one. Here, I laid that. Because if I stick this in here like this, I'm going to actually destroy this first one, and even though I can't get to it. So I'm going to come in here, punch this one, come in here, punch this one. All right, and I'll save that for the rest of the ones that I need to do for class. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just pull in this mat because we want to get these put onto their stems, and then we can assemble them. So this one's going to go right into the center here. And then these will be the same. I'm trying to finish recording these because my daughter and granddaughter are coming and I think I hear them. So we're almost finished with the recording. All right, let's see. We need to stamp one more thing. While they glue, we're going to stamp our greeting on here, and we're going to do this popping up to say hi. And let's do that in Happy Parade. Just scoot this down here so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to put some dimensionals on this. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 on here because it already feels a little bit, what do I want to say, a little wobbly. And then I'm going to put 1 on this one because it's going to go on the outside. All right. And then you can leave these flat or you can raise them. I'm going to go ahead and leave them flat this time. And I'm going to use this adhesive because I want to actually make sure the stem gets glued down. All right, so we're ready to put those in place. Don't want to get my glue everywhere. We're going to use the Big Melon Mambo one over on this side, like so. We're going to put this one on this side. And then this is going to close like so, and this is going to go down here, and our greeting is going to go across here like this. And last but not least, we are going to put some cool gems on here. I haven't used these in a while. They are called iridescent back discs. And so we have all these really fun colors. We've got red and green and whatever color you want. A color here that's like an iridescent. It changes colors. So I'm going to put 1 or 2 of those on there because I'm pretty sure that will reflect whatever color, whatever other colors I have on there. Let's go ahead and put one of these red ones on here because that will hopefully go with our red. And we have green in the paper, so we could put a green one on here. How's that sound? There we go. And you can put as many of those on as you want. There's a lot of them on a sheet. So, okay. Then I do have a bow. We might add a bow. I don't think it needs it, but I used this, which I'm not sure has been on back order for some time, and I'm not sure if I have enough for class, but I did add a bow to this one, and it does look cute, but it definitely adds a lot more fullness. This card is definitely going to cost you more to mail it. I'm not sure by weight or just the puffiness. Now this one isn't as bad because I didn't put dimensionals inside of here, but you've got in one fold here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of paper, and then put this on top, and that adds another at least 4 or 5 here. So yeah, add that extra ounce for sure. And maybe you're going to have to put a piece of cardstock or something over top of this whole thing to mail it, just because of the lumpiness that it would be. Okay, hopefully that helps. I don't want you to get things returned like I do. My Littlestown post office is ridiculous. I'm pretty careful how I send things, and so when they get returned, I take them into a local place and have them weigh it and check it. And I'm usually correct, and the post office just is a little ridiculous, or whoever does it. But anyways, that's it for that one. Let's get to the next one. Okay, this project is going to be using this gorgeous paper. It's called Full of Life. And I've been collecting several packs because I knew that if I did it for a class, I was going to need more than one pack. And so we are going to do this lovely pattern. I don't remember who. I think I saw Meg Lobin do this. And so this is the one that actually, these are, I'll show you the way to cut them. And then I'll show you how I did some of these a little bit differently. But I'm using all the different papers with this. So I didn't use the same one on any of these, so that you could see how we can use this whole pack for this particular design if you like this. So, so let's start with this. Our sheet, we're going to use 4 inches of it. So we'll have another 2 inches to use for something else. And let's see, I'm going to choose... Which one didn't I do yet? I don't think I did anything like this. Let's do that one. That will be interesting. Okay, so we're going to cut it. First, we're going to cut it at 4 inches. Let's see. Sometimes you want to look at the other side to see what you like there. In case, like, say I want something orange to use, so I'll cut this part off to use for something else. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's going to give me some gradient of color on here, which is what I really need. You'll see in a minute. So our measurements that we're going to cut 1 3/4 at 2.5, and then at 3/4. And you can do any variant of that. However, I'm going to cut them in order, and then we will just flip one of them over. So 1 3/4, 2.5. And 3/4 of an inch, because we don't need that whole 6 inches. Okay, so that's going to be extra as well, so I'll put that with the other piece. All right, let me get this out of the way. Put that in my new storage caddy. Okay, so I have to decide how I want this to go. So unfortunately, these colors don't go great with this, but I think that you can see in this one how it still looked nice. So I can decide, maybe I like a bigger portion of this and a smaller portion, so I can scoot that over there, okay? Or maybe I want a very small portion, which I don't, but in case you wanted to, you could do that. Okay, so now we're ready to glue these in place on our 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch card front. And I'll start with the biggest one. And we're going to place it about 1/8 of an inch from each edge. And then I'm going to do the other side first, and then we can line the center one up inside of those two. I'll put the orange at the bottom, I think. Actually, I'm going to put the pink at the bottom. And then this one will just line up between here. And I have a little bit larger margins here, but that's okay. Nobody's going to know that I didn't want it to be like that. All right, let's put this aside for a second. We are going to use it's a bundle, but I'm using a portion that's not bundled, and I want to show you now that I can show you the inside of this catalog. On the mini catalog January to April, on page 54, you'll find a bundle with this new punch. Really cool. And so here's the bundle. It's called Hugs for Love. The punch is called To the Point. So it's not named the same, but you can see here you can get it bundled for a discount. And then there's an additional stamp set that goes with it over here. It's called Bright Borders. Oh, I'm yawning. Goodness. And I slept really good last night. So Bright Borders this is the one that we're using with the punch today. So I chose this one. Excuse me. And I have a piece of scrap paper here, just in case I make a mess. And I want to look at the punch, which is where? Let me grab it quick. Okay, so as I was saying, you want to look at the punch to see where you want to stamp this. However, I cut this a little too narrow, so I have to stamp it one direction. And it's going to be this way. And that works perfect, except I stamped it too close to the edge. Let's do it again on the other side. I may have cut it just a bit narrow. Maybe I'll have to take this away so I can see my edges here. There we go. Try again. I just want to look and get all of my edges nice and straight. And then we're going to take and punch this part. Or not punch, I'm sorry, stamp. And I'm going to use Happy Birthday or Birthday Wishes from Simply Said. There are stamps in this, and they're fine, except that I wanted to do a birthday one, so I pulled this out of Simply Said. I'm stamping that in Shaded Spruce. I said I slept well, but maybe I didn't. My brain doesn't know it. Let me just get these lids on here real quick. All right, because we are going to use all of these colors relate to Shaded Spruce, or will go nicely with it. So we're using Shaded Spruce as our basic color, just so that we don't have to switch back and forth. And I'm just going to use the punch to get some tails on the end here. And then I'm just going to glue that in place. And then we'll put some dimensionals on here and pop this up. That looks terrible on that side, doesn't it? I did an awful job on that. Glad there's two sides to every piece of paper. Okay, let me get those all off of there. Have them laying everywhere. And we'll pop our Birthday Wishes on here. I'll center that. All right. One thing that you definitely want with this card, because we've offset where this piece is, so we don't necessarily want this center, because you're not going to be able to see the center for one thing, and it's going to look better off-centered. All right, then the only thing we need to do yet is add our gems, and we're going to do the adhesive backed shiny sequins. You know, they're my very, very favorite. And since this sheet is loose, I'm just going to pop these off of here. I'll probably get, I don't have any green on here. We'll go ahead and do another peachy colored one there. Okay, so very quick and easy, a way that you can use your designer series paper and get a lot of bang for your buck. I wanted to show you some other cards that I did with this designer paper. Actually, I didn't do all of these. I dropped these right before and I bent some of the edges, but these were 2 swaps that I got, and I love how they did use that that circle dot embossing folder. Can you see that on the back there? And then just a little swatch of the designer paper to go in the center there. And then I did this when I copied this. I saw it online, and this is one of our punches. And so I just punched a bunch of papers out, stuck them in there, and did a little bit of stamping in the center, and voila, how fun is that? Those are definitely the backs of these papers, so you get lots of different gradients of color there. And then this one I showed to you once before when I was showing this umbrella set, but these papers here, well, the background here is from the paper from this pack, and then I stamped the umbrellas and the boots onto the paper and die cut or cut it by hand, whichever. I think I cut these by hand because I wanted it to be really close to the umbrella, but you can see the clouds there, or die cut. So I wanted to show you those real quick. And I think that was our last project. So I'm going to say have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget that you can get these projects for free this month when you place an order. I'm going to put my hand here so you can see. The host code for January is BT4WZWSR. These host codes are getting crazy, aren't they? All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. God bless.